Dhiomsaigh has been an overall soul-destroying experience.
We're dead inside. We both started with full hair colour and indeed full hair lines.
I don't see things anymore properly. Colour's gone.
Colour's gone, is it?
We're colour blind now. It's done.
I think that's what happens when the colour bleeds out of our hair like this.
It's just gone. Pigment is no longer a thing.
Listen, Kickstarter, it's like getting comics on tick, right?
Rogue Comics is an independent publisher based here in Ireland, established by myself, Ciarán Marcantonio, Wayne Talbot and Gillian Dempsey. And the four of us have taken it upon ourselves to level up the scene here in Ireland and try and expand it further and bring more people in and expose them to professionally putting together comic books.
Now that we're trying to do things on the next level, to get it out there to the next level of distribution. We had worked for many years in anthologies that were all ages based. We wanted to do something that wasn't necessarily all ages. We wanted to do something that was a bit more adult in both its content, its presentation, and to kind of show them that we ourselves as creators have kind of grown up now. I myself have worked on like 25 independent comics at this point, and for this book I wanted it to be not just a short story or not just a single issue. I wanted it to be a full graphic novel. I wanted it to really test the limits of how I tell story and test the limits of how Kev visually tells story.
We want to make sure that when you purchase Dhiomsaigh and when you have it in your hands, that you see that it's not just a graphic novel. It is 2 years of a handful of people who have devoted themselves to every section of the storytelling, from writing to the art to the colour to the lettering to the editorial to the art that we're getting as part of the Kickstarter. I mean, if I was to go through Dhiomsaigh from top to bottom, it starts with Ciarán and myself. It starts with Ciarán's concept for the world and my population of that world. And then we introduce Cristian's colours and he ties everything together with this rich vibrancy that you don't see in independent publishing every day. And we wanted to bring a contemporary professional standard to this book. And after Cristian, Gillian Dempsey, who acted as editor on Dhiomsaigh, Gillian's eyes were so sharp from top to bottom. She was there every step of the way with myself and Ciarán, ensuring that every idea was correct, ensuring that everything was landing properly, that we weren't becoming too overindulgent. She was very much keeping us honest, and very much, because I think when you work on a story this big, you can become self-indulgent and you can try to push an idea a little too far. And I think Gillian was very much the balancer. She was the fixer for everything in terms of making sure that what we were doing was restrained enough to show skill without becoming too large where ego starts to show through. Another key member of Rogue Comics is of course Wayne Talbot. Wayne has been present throughout the entire process of Dhiomsaigh. He's been casting his eye over it and his input has been really, really positive. He had a great objective eye in pushing the story forward and motivating myself and Ciarán. Wayne spends an awful lot of time dealing with the printers and making sure everything is printed properly. That element of independent publishing is often overlooked, and having somebody devoted to it like Wayne is absolutely sensational. I'm indebted to the guy. And then of course Michael Carroll, who came in to go over the script with Ciarán and edit over the script, and he did some insanely wonderful work with Ciarán's script and just how it's read, the language. I mean, it started sensationally in my opinion. The script was so powerful from top to bottom, and then Michael comes in with, you know, his so many years of experience and applies that then to Ciarán's script, and it just turned it into this wonderful story that doesn't let up for an instant. There's constantly a moving part. There's a section of it that's consistently moving forward and it doesn't buckle for a second. My favorite aspect of Dhiomsaigh outside of the collaboration between myself and Ciarán and fine-tuning our process was the colors, and seeing the new colors coming in and going over the colors with Cristian and trying out new things and experimenting with different palettes and experimenting with different tones and lighting. What we achieved together, myself and Cristian working together on the colors, is absolutely sensational. I mean, to this point, you know, Cristian really wanted the opportunity to prove himself, and he did. And for me, that was my favorite element of working on this entire project, was doing what Rogue Comics has set out to do. Bring in new people who want to be involved professionally in this industry and in this career, and show what they can do. And of course, not everybody is working at the big league. Everybody isn't working at the highest level, but there are people who are just as talented as those working at the highest level. And I feel very strongly that Cristian is one of those people who is able to achieve the professional standard naturally. I then experienced an entirely different aspect of this career in editorial, where now I'm not involved with the actual practicality, with the practical craft of putting the colours on the page. I'm overseeing it and trying to determine what's best for the story, and not what's best for my art, and not what's best for Cristian's abilities. It's what's best for the story, and that at times was taking myself and Cristian and Ciarán and Jill and Wayne well out of our comfort zone. Well out of our comfort zone in terms of the colouring, in terms of the process, in terms of the printing and the publishing side of things. We are very much out of our comfort zone, and it's exciting. It's fantastic. It's the experience you dream you can have on a comic book. It's the experience you dream you can have on any project that you lend yourself to creatively. And then obviously I had to basically get trial by fire.
Yeah.
And
learn
how to letter and do the whole book. My first ever attempt at lettering was this graphic novel.
Yeah.
And learning about crossbar eyes, I still have nightmares.
Yeah. Should we kiss? Just get it out of the way.
No.
Right at the start.
No, we shouldn't kiss.
Just
We should never kiss. We should
never give it to them.
No. Let the people wait. We can't give them that. We can't. It's just.
But what if they want it on Kickstarter?
They can want it all they want. I've given them enough. I've given them art. You've given them words. Finally, if we reach our stretch goal, we want to reward everybody who has backed us and supported us. And what we will do if we reach our stretch goal will be converting everybody's printed graphic novel from softback to hardback.
Sexy hardcover.